So guys, welcome back. Welcome back to day 2 of Let's Discuss. So guys who don't know what kind of channel it is, so it's not a class. I'm not going to give you any lectures here. Uh, we will basically be solving DSA, advanced DSA questions. So we have already started with arrays, and we will be solving and we will be discussing different uh, way outs, how to solve different category of questions, specifically uh, specifically on lead code. Okay, so this was the last question which we were doing yesterday. Okay, so here we are getting time limit exceeded error, but we could run this code. Okay, we could run this code on Jupyter Notebook. uh, we were we were able to run this code on Jupyter Notebook. I did this yesterday, and let me give a brief of why it is throwing time limit exceeded error. Okay, so let's go to the description. So we were doing this longest consecutive sequence question. Okay, and it has been asked in, it is a part of blind 75 series. Okay, this is the most important series which you guys should do while you are preparing for different kind of product based companies. Okay, so we have this unsorted array given. Okay, these are some different examples which is provided by lead code. Okay, so this is 128 question on 128th question on DSA series. It's a part of blind 75 question, and we have been given an array of integers whose name is nums, right? This is the variable name nums. We need to return the length of longest consecutive elements sequence. Okay, so what do you mean by longest consecutive element sequence? Basically, whatever random elements you are given, you have to just find out what is the consecutive elements present. How many consecutive elements are present? Let's say here, if we start with 0, if we starts with 0, okay, then okay, while doing question, don't forget to use this. Okay, for dry run practice, you need to have a pen and paper with you. Okay, you need to have pen and paper. So what we did yesterday was, when we tried to execute this is accepting. It means that the code which we used. So let me just give you a quick uh, revision of what we did yesterday. So we took length, we took max length, okay, whose initial value we initialized as 0. We took a count variable, okay, and this hash map was not required, okay. So we were basically doing with nested for loops. And max count, okay, so max count we have taken another variable whose value we took as 0. Now we started running a loop, okay, so it will traverse these elements one by one, okay. Now we gave nums equals nums of I, okay. So why did we give this command, nums equals nums of I? We are initializing ith element of nums to num, okay. So this num will be ith element every time, okay. So every time the for loop is going, the value of num is changing, okay. So initially the num is taking 0, okay. Then the second num is taking 3, right? So num is nums of I, okay. And we have assigned count equals 0 because we have started with the first element. Whenever we are on, let's say, 0, it means that our count is 1, right? Our count will be 1, okay. So this is the idea. Now what we are doing next is, this is the next while loop. So what it will do is, it will check why we are why what we are checking, nums plus 1 in nums, okay. So num plus 1. So what is num? Num is here nums of I, and nums of I is 0, right? So nums of I is 0, and num plus 1 is 1, okay. The value of num plus 1 will be 1. So while 1 in nums, while 1 in nums, okay, is numerical 1 there in this num? Yes, it is there here. But how it will search, okay. So it will search like a for loop, okay. It will search like a for loop. That is why at this point of time, this is again a traversal done. This is again a traversal, okay. The This will do the traversal, and its time complexity will be order of n, okay. So here the time complexity is order of n, okay. And this is already a for loop running, so its time complexity will also be order of n, okay. So since it is a nested loop, the total time complexity will be equal to order of n square, okay. And we are given the nums length as 10 to the power 5, okay. So order of n square, it becomes 10 to the power 5 to the power 2. It means 10 to the power 10, okay. And since this value is above 10 to the power 8, which is a general, you know, time time given in the uh, lead code, okay. So it exceeds, okay, the time taken to execute this code, or the time taken to execute these many operations, 10 to the power 10 operations, okay. Because the order of n square, okay, and the maximum length. So the worst case will be, here we are given the length of num as only few elements, right? But these are the constraints. We have to look at the constraint, okay. So guys, interrupt me if I am wrong anywhere. So these are the constraints. Wherein we have to see the Worst possible case. What is the worst case? Worst case will be there will be so many elements. The number of elements will be 10 to the power 5. It means the number of elements here, input nums, will be 1 lakh. Okay. So with 1 lakh element and with order of n square, because we are having two loops, two nested loops. So the number of element will be 10 to the power 5 to the power square. Okay. So the total number of operations will be 10 to the power 10. And what is the maximum operations which we can do in lead code? What is the time and what is the operation? It will be 10 to the power 8. So since 10 to the power 10 is greater than 10 to the power 8, it will throw TLE, time limit exceeded error. It will throw TLE, time limit exceeded error, right? So while these are running, okay, while these test cases are running, we can see here the test case are running. Okay, so let's continue the discussion. While num plus 1 means 1 in nums, yes, num1 is there in nums, yes. So what it will do, it will do count plus equals 1. It will increase the value of count from 1 say 2, right? And what will be the next? We will shift to another num. Okay, we will shift to num plus 1, right? So the value of num will be num plus 1. Okay, so the value of num becomes num plus 1. Okay, and then we will save the max value of count. Okay, so max count will every time will get updated. Okay, if count is greater, then the value of count will be stored in max count. If max count is greater, or you can say when we are traversing here, if the count value is coming lesser than max count, then it will not update, right? So only max of these two values will get updated. In the end we will return max count. So it's little bit of tricky question involving one for loop and one while loop. Okay, the other solution can be, instead of using this while loop, we can use hash map. Okay, uh, instead of nums we can use hash map. So let's try doing it today, whether we can use hash map or not. Okay, so let's start thinking on those lines. So before finding the value in hash map, we can just add hash, we can just go for creating a hash map. Here we can just create a hash map of nums of I. Okay, and I think if we put this out of loop, so when we pick Excuse me. So basically, when we pick anything from hash map, then it will not be a traversal. Okay, so this is the most important thing which we should keep in our mind while going for you know picking anything from this dictionary. So this becomes order of 1. The time complexity of this becomes order of 1. Once this is done, then it automatically becomes a um, having total time complexity as order of n, and then we can think of the constraint that it will not go much further than 10 to the power 5, because all these are having complexity order of n. This is also order of n. This is also order of n. My bad. This is order of n. Taking out max count is also order of, I'm so sorry, order of 1, sorry. This is order of 1. Okay. Anything increasing the count will attract only one constant. So the total time complexity becomes order of n plus order of 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So order of n plus order of 4. So order of n plus 4. So 4 we can ignore. As you can see, it's very, very lesser than 10 to the power 5 as a worst case taken. So can we do this? I think so we can just brainstorm what is the problem. So this we are creating. Then do we require as of now? We don't want this as of now. We can. We just have to increase I. So first it will search nums of I, uh, where I equals 0. Then for I equals 0, this 0 it will identify. So it will count plus equals 1. Then it will let us increase the value of I. Then it will again go here while nums of 1. So nums of 1 is 3. Okay. So while 3 in hash map, so it will say yes. No, this will not do because we have to check the next value. So nums of I will not do. Why it is throwing error? Nums of I will always be in hash map, no. But we want to see the next element coming after 0. So I think if we keep this again, we can again go for one more for loop. Okay, here, and this we can put inside this for loop. Now while number is equal to nums of I, okay, and we got the number, so we will do count plus equals 1. Okay, count, the value of count is increased. Now what we'll do, while num plus 1, we will search the next value, num plus 1 in hash map. So hash map is already created. If it is there, then we will increase the value of count and we will increase the next number. So it will go 1. So 1 plus 1 becomes 2. While 2 in hash map, is it there? 2 in hash map. Yes, 2 is in hash map. Then it will increase the value of count. I think this should work. This should work. Syntax error, cannot assign to function call here. Maybe you meant equal to instead of equal to hash map nums of I equal 0. If I don't put the 0, then what will happen? Dict object is not callable. Yeah, because it should be key value pair, right? If I so okay, I think what it is assuming is cannot assign function to call. So what Python is thinking is I'm calling a function. I think this I should replace with square bracket. Okay. And I'll just put a dictionary. Oh, I'm sorry. Um, okay, something is running. Uh, Output is 12, expected is 4. Why it is coming 12? So can we put if statement? If num plus 1 in hash map, now output is decreased. Something is wrong in the code. It should come 4, no? Because the test case, this is also going wrong. Output is coming 19. Why this one is coming? Here output is coming 9. Here output is coming 7. I think I should put on some music.
buy this.
Ads. Music is good. So let's again brainstorm for our zero to F. So we are creating hash map, then the client, so none becomes first. So once it is got first, it has got first element, then it will increase the count, then we have if numbers one in hash map, it will increase the count, then else what it will do, if numbers one not in hash map, then return, what will return? I want the value of count. We have to configure a max count also. No? So the value of count is, let's say we have come to let's say we have come to 4. Okay. So if num plus 1, so 4 in hash map, yes. So count plus equals 1, n equals n num plus 1. So num becomes 5. So it will go there. If 5 in hash map, no. If 5 in hash map, no. So we need to return the value of count. Return this. Now, what is max count? Max count will be this. But again, I have to increase. Okay, this will work.
Okay, Shashi.
Sure. Guys, think about it. Give some, do some brainstorming. If we try with the hash setup, change it to set, or what we compose, set of nums. Okay, so we have basically converted it to set. Now we can pick or check the elements in the set, or just we can get this max count, max count, the code is correct, but it is throwing wrong output. I think there is something which is missing. Uh, we are taking current equals nothing, but what if we just have to give one condition like uh, this one not hash set this. So the problem is we are checking one step forward. So we are basically not traversing the full sequence. I think our start is wrong. So this, the point where we are starting is wrong. So I think we just have to give one more condition. Uh, voice is not clear. Okay, let me just. Is it? Am I audible? Am I audible now? Alright, alright, thanks. So you want to start DSA? Okay. Before starting DSA, you must go with understanding what is time complexity, what is space complexity, what are the number of operations which are going to be performed, what is the yearly error, time limit execute error, why it comes. I mean, there are certain rules of doing programming, right? Start with simple routine, like start with printing a number, start with traversing the hash for loop, start practicing through DSA, easy questions first, then you can go on building the foundation of DSA. And it's very important, like all product based companies, they are asking DSA, especially fan companies. Fan companies. Uh, so, is it anything else? About how to start with DSA? You can also go with understanding basics of computer programming. I think that would be. I hope it helps. Now we can start DSA from scratch. This is so let's continue on this. It's not current management, it should be not management. And management, not in hash set. So if this is not in hash set, then what I do? I I initialize the value of current equals this. This I initialize. Right, error. Guys, DSA is the backbone of computer science. You cannot leave it. first element of sequence, right? Now, after this, we will start with the sequencing. Right? So current equals none. But here we have to initialize the value of not also. So once you are sure that current equals nothing, means that not equals none. This should work. So the value of count it was taken as zero. Okay. So that is why if you put the value of count as zero, then what will happen? It will give output one lesser. Why? Because we have already seen current equals none. Okay. And if this current is equal to none, then we have already got our first element, so we have to count it, right? We have got our first element, current equals none. Because if num minus 1 is not in hash set, okay, it means that num is the first element of the array, and once we find the current, like we have initialized the current as num, then we have got our first element. So the count cannot be zero, the count has to be 1. And then we can traverse the loop cycle. So if we get the value of current plus 1, right, if the current equals none, let's say this is 0, so current is initially 0, our count equals 1, then we traverse. Okay. So we are actually not traversing through loop. This is the loop traversal for loop. Okay. And this loop is in the hash set. Okay. So the this is the main loop. Now what we are doing is we are just picking the value in hash set with this number. Okay. So our current is 0. Our current is 0. 0 means this is the first element. 0. Now we are taking current plus 1 in hash set, and we are assuming whether current plus 1 is there in hash set or not. If it is there, then we will increase the count, and what we will do, we will increase the current also. Current means it is initially 0, this becomes 1. While 1 in hash set, what is there in hash set? Yes, 1 is there. So it will increase the count, and it will increase the value of current. So current is presently 1. 1 plus is equal to 2. So when it goes here again, value of current becomes 2. So this is how the loop goes. And so now this is not showing any error. Initially when we started this video, and we did this yesterday, so we did this yesterday, longest consecutive sequence, so it was showing clearly error. You can see in the start of this video, it was showing clearly error. Why? Because we were using two nested for loops, and the value of, just look at the constraint, guys. Just look at the constraint. Constraint is 10 to the power 5, and if we go for nested for loop, then the time complexity will be order of n square, and number of elements will be 10 to the power 5. So 1 lakh element will be there in this input nums. Okay. So if there are 1 lakh elements here, then if we consider order of n square as as our program is, then it will be 10 to the power 5 whole square, right? 10 to the power 5 whole square is 10 to the power 10. And if you don't want clearly error, then your number of operations has to be lesser than 10 to the power 8, which is approximately 10 to the power 8. So if it is going 10 to the power 10, then it's not, it's a big issue in the programming. You have to optimize it. Today we have optimized it. So guys, one thing I will tell you how this logic is coming to your mind. So this logic should come to your mind after a lot of practice, lot of brainstorming, lot of thinking. Because one question can change your entire thinking. Okay. So don't just jump onto the solution part. Always think of getting more optimal solution. In various YouTube videos, you must have seen more people have solutions. But when you see the solution, you will not understand the utility of code. Okay. And there are very small, very minor things in the coding which you cannot see or which you cannot visualize after watching somebody's video. It is you have to write the code on yourself, be it wrong, but you should always think and write the code yourself. There may be chances that you might get the better idea than what the people are teaching on YouTube, right? So that is what the thing is. Right? So this is accepted. Even if the idea is not coming to your mind, just look a small hint. You can always go for looking a small hint if you are not getting an idea. So this you can see we got 9 minute exhibit on it. We got 6 hours ago we got 9 minute exhibit on it, and now it is accepted. So you can see the runtime here. Runtime is 51 milliseconds. And here you don't get any runtime because there is no running. The code is getting executed. Your code is correct, but the number of operations are wrong. So when you submit it, you get a TLE error. Right? So this is what the idea is. should not memorize code, but you should memorize the technique, or you should at least write down those techniques on a piece of paper or on a diary that you for those ideas. Because those ideas, after long, long revision, you might forget those ideas which you only discovered. So there may be certain cases where you got certain idea, but you can write it on paper and you forget that idea. And that idea was brilliant. So that should not be the case. You should always write your idea on a particular piece of paper or in a diary. Maintain it. As long as you are preparing for DSA, it will help a lot with it. So once you revisit an idea, you get clear picture. You get everything revised in your head. You basically go to that particular point that actually solve that problem in the past. So that's all for today. Join me again for such brainstorming ideas tomorrow. We will again see different type of question, especially from line 75. So this line 75 is the most important question series where we find a lot of product companies asking on based on these series. Line 75 is one of the most famous group of questions of that is all for today. So guys, same time